out this video. In this video, we're going to talk about how it's possible to turn your ideas into income. I'm going to be going live here for a few minutes. I'm going to let the camera roll and allow some people to come in here. The other day, I went live and some of you guys were blessed by what we talked about, how to turn your words into wealth. And so we're going to piggyback on that topic just a little bit more. I'm going to show you how to turn your ideas into income. And so with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. My name is Ryan. I live here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I got started in the profession of internet marketing or online marketing way back when in 2007. Thank you guys for checking out the live. I appreciate you guys for coming in. We're talking about how you can turn your ideas into income. And so way back in 2007, I got introduced to this particular concept of how you can take a simple idea and turn it into income. And so that's what we're going to talk about here today. So if you're excited about the topic, go ahead and give this a like. Let me know in the comments if that's what you guys want to hear about. And so thank you. Let me know where you guys are coming in from. I see we have 5 people on here watching right now. Thank y'all for checking out the live. God bless you guys. We're going to talk about how you can turn your ideas into income. All right. And so back in 2007, this is when I first stumbled on this particular concept. I was searching the internet for a viable way that I could actually make a full-time income. And so Naveen from India, what's going on, Naveen? How you doing today? Again, we're talking about how you can turn your ideas and turn them into income. And so thank you guys for the likes. Thank you guys for the hearts. I truly appreciate it. All right. So back in 2007, I was a freshman in college. I was looking and devouring and scouring the internet, trying to find a way to make income at home or make income online. And initially, I ran across a bunch of different ideas. The first concept that I ran across was affiliate marketing. Let me know if anybody has tried affiliate marketing in the past. Basically, that's when you sell other people's products or services, right? You can find companies that already have established products, established services, and you can refer them customers and they will pay you a commission, right? And so that's what affiliate marketing is. And so that was like the first thing that I tried. I remember it was around this time, April of 2007, when I was in college. I made my first affiliate commission. My first affiliate commission was like very small. I think it was like $17.54. Don't ask me why I remembered that specific amount, but again, it was a small commission. But it did change my life. It gave me the idea and understanding that it was possible to make money on the internet. And so I kind of became addicted. I became hooked to this concept and this idea that it was possible to make money online. And so today, what we're going to be talking about specifically is how you can turn your ideas into income. Now, the product that I sold back then in 2007 to make my first affiliate commission was actually an ebook by Dr. Joe Vitale. And this particular book was teaching people how they could actually make their own online books, their own online courses, and produce them in less than 7 days, put them out there on the market and sell them and actually, become a bestseller, right? Or make money selling information. And so I went through the product with my twin brother. Both of us were in college and we had a specific goal. Like we wanted to make $2,000 with our first product so that we could actually join this particular business opportunity called Passport to Wealth. There was a internet marketing company called Passport to Wealth back then. Maybe some of you guys remember that. Let me know in the comments if you guys do. But that particular company was a company that sold the resale rights to other digital products. And so again, so maybe you guys have heard of MRR, maybe you guys have heard of Roadmap to Riches, some of these other programs that are UBC, Digital Wealth Academy, some of these programs out in 2025, they are basically a remix of what Passport to Wealth was back then. Basically, you could buy a bundle of products. These would be like softwares, ebooks, um, tools and services that you could use online that basically you could brand as your own and sell either as a license right agreement to give people access to all the products, or you could sell these products individually. And so that was our goal. We wanted to write this book to make enough money to be able to afford to purchase this program. And so we spent weeks trying to write this ebook based on the instructions that the guy Dr. Joe Vitale gave us. And one of the things that I found out that again changed my life again, all these little small milestones, things happened where my life started to change or my paradigm started to excuse me, increase. First thing that happened was when we launched it finally, there were people who bought the product initially. Now, one of the things that I remember that kind of blew my mind about this process was we had I think, a bad idea. So our book, let me know where you guys are coming in from in the comment section, by the way, as you guys are coming in. Thank you guys for the likes. So one of the things that our book was about was something that we were not qualified to teach at the time. We knew that people were interested in the concept of making money, and we both were believers in God. Mike Rogers, what's going on, Mike? How you doing? I'm from Cali as well, if you don't know. I'm from LA. And so thank you for being here. So my brother and I, we knew that people were interested in making money, and we came from a Christian background, came from a Christian home. And so we were like, we were going to teach financial independence from the Bible, right? That's what we wanted to teach. We had no clue about what financial independence was. What's going on, Josh? What's going on, man? How you doing, man? I hope you're doing blessed. All right, y'all make sure y'all follow Josh. He's gonna take over the world. All right. So we were college kids thinking we were going to make all this money by teaching financial independence. Again, something we didn't know too much about. Josh says, how you doing? I'm doing good, brother. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. And so again, we didn't know a lot about the subject, but we did have a heart. We were trying to follow the instructions that this person had told us to follow. We ended up selling 3 copies of our ebook, right? I think 2 of them were people that we knew that saw, us launch the product, probably felt sorry for us. We spent, I think it was like $10 was the price point that we charged for the product. Then there was somebody in Japan, somebody I don't know, somebody that my brother didn't know, from across the world. Somehow they saw our product online and they ended up purchasing. And so what that did for me is it kind of broke my brain in a sense. I started to believe that it was like really possible to make money online, especially that you could take an idea. We took an idea. We thought, this would be a good idea, that there were a lot of people who wanted to know about this particular subject, and we could teach on it or research and do study on this and give this information, and people would find it valuable. And so fast forward, just a couple weeks later, I ended up borrowing the money to join the program that I was talking about, Passport to Wealth. And when I got into that particular program, that's where the concept of understanding that you could actually turn ideas into income. The first way that I saw that was when I got the product. I was so excited to get these particular products, right? When I got the product, I realized that the person who created the product, his name was Darren Godry. He lived in Australia, a really successful guy. He ended up flying from Australia to Las Vegas to meet my brother and I, because at the time we ended up becoming one of the top recruiters for this particular company in the matter of like 6 months. But that's a side note. But anyway, I was excited about the products. One of the things that I saw was that it was possible to take some of these products and resell them online. And so I started selling products in weird markets. Like I think I had like a nail biting product. There was a product on dating. There was a product on losing weight. So again, I just started selling information and I started making money from it. But I wanted to like really understand like how is this possible? And to make a long story short, I ended up finding a person who became my mentor at the time. And was their whole entire business model. They ended up making millions of dollars by selling information products online. And so I'm going to break down some of the things that I learned from them here specifically. And then at the end of this, again, if you guys get any value from it, what I'm going to be doing in the month of May, I'm going to be doing a workshop specifically on how you can turn your words into wealth. One of the ways that you turn your words into wealth is by coming up with an idea of a problem that you can solve and create a solution for, or have the solution created for that addresses that problem, and you present that solution to the marketplace in an elegant way. And when people find that solution, if the words that you use to resonate with them, it's going to compel them to purchase your products, right? And so we're going to talk about how that's possible. And so again, as you guys come into the live, make sure you go ahead, drop where you guys are from, to make sure I know who I'm talking to, and I can make this video as valuable as humanly possible. All right. So the first thing that I learned was that if you wanted to become successful at turning an idea into income, that you need to find, again, a problem that people need solved. So think about your own life. Maybe there's something that's going on with you specifically. Maybe that there's some type of problem in your own life. And if you have done anything to move forward in solving this problem, then this might be a good idea of a place where you can go to get solved, or to create a solution for. I'm sorry. So for me, there are different problems that I've solved in my own life. So as you guys are seeing this right now, I have a YouTube channel that's 22,000 subscribers. If I had an idea to start a product-based business today, one of the ideas may be to help show people how to get their first 1,000 subscribers, right? Because I know, like, a lot of people who are interested in getting on YouTube, this is something that they struggle with. And because it's something that I have already overcome, then it would be easy for me to sell a solution like that, right? So I hope that's making sense. So think about a problem, something that's frustrated you in your own life, and I want you to think about how could you come up with a solution to solve it. Now, thankfully, in today's day and age, we have tools and resources out there like ChatGPT that can help us to come up with ideas, and help us to ideate on different products that we can actually create for people. But again, I want you guys to go through, going back to the drawing board, like, what's a problem that you're facing in your life right now? And I want you to make this your primary focus over the next few weeks, is thinking about how you can solve this problem, how you can overcome it, how you can obliterate it, or think about a problem that you already solved. Also, another good way to think about turning your ideas into income is to look back on something that you just have, like, absolute passion for. What are some of your hobbies? What are you, like, truly excited to do every day? Like, music is something that I'm excited about. Music is a hobby for me. Um, Bowling is something I love to do. Right? Think about things that you're skilled at. Think about things that you spend money on, that you may be actually just one step ahead of somebody else. And so one of the things that I want to point out to you guys, or share with you, as an example of this, is when I first came online, there was this guy who was selling guides on how to dribble better, right? How to dribble a basketball better. There are people who are selling information on how to approach women at a bar. There were people who were selling information on World of Warcraft cheat codes, right? So any type of idea that you have that you believe people would want to know information on could be turned into a product. Okay. And so again, thank you guys for checking out the live. Go ahead and drop where you guys are from. I would love to, converse with you guys and go back and forth on how this concept works. And so what I've been talking about for the last few minutes or so is how you can turn an idea into income. The first thing that you want to do is start with the problem. So once you have figured out what the problem is, if I want to give you guys a tool. One of the tools that I use on how I think about problems when they don't affect me personally, there's a resource out there called answerthepublic.com. If you go to this website, if you type in any problem, like, let's say you type in lust, or you type in how to make money, or you type in lose weight, any kind of problem into that specific website, it's going to bring you back the top, like, 50 to 150 questions that people are asking about that particular subject. And so what you want to do is you want to find one question to really hone in on. Find one question that you can solve with the product, and make that the focal point of something that you create. And a couple different examples of how you can create a solution based around that problem. I love digital solutions because digital solutions don't cost you typically money out of pocket to create. They can be, distributed, mass produced, because they're digital, right? So you can sell an unlimited amount of copies to an unlimited amount of people, and for the most part, you're gonna basically have the same amount of fixed costs, right? Does that make sense? So again, you want to use answerthepublic.com to research a problem that people are having. So you type in anything: lust, how to make money, how to jump higher, um, divorce, right? Like how to have a better marriage, like any particular problem you type in, it's going to show you the top 100 questions. And so you want to focus on making your product solve one problem, and you want to give it a clear solution. So let's just say that, again, we made a product on lust. Um, Maybe men are struggling with how to, overcome this particular issue, and that's going to be the focal point of our digital product. And so, like I said, I would recommend to you guys to create a digital product. I would start with digital first because it's going to be the easiest to produce. It's also going to be the least expensive option, out of all the options that are out there to have made. Now, what you want to think about next is like, how do you want to deliver this product to someone else? Typically, when people are thinking about digital products, the first thing that most people think about is an ebook, right? Like being able to, offer an electronic book to other people. Another good way or good type of digital product that I love the best is I love like over the shoulder videos, like basically where I'm screen sharing my computer and I'm walking a person through a thing specifically, like here's how to do XYZ. Another type of digital product could be just like I'm doing this live. I'm telling you guys what the steps are step by step. I'm giving you the information. You could record yourself talking to a camera, giving the person the step-by-step things of what they need to do. So, right, let's just say like if I created a product on lust, right? So I might start the video and I might start the product with like, hey, I want to welcome you to overcoming lust. I want to thank you for being here. And now I start going into the protocol of what are the steps that they can do to overcome that, right? And so basically, I would record that step by step, exactly what they need to do, and then I could package that up and sell that as a product online. So let me know where you guys are coming from. I see we have people continuing to come in. Let me know where you guys are from. God bless you guys, and thank y'all for being here. We're talking about specifically how you can turn an idea into income. Okay, and so once you have that thing recorded, there are certain sites that are out there that will allow you to deliver your product pretty effortlessly to the person who purchases your product. Those websites, for me, one of the ones that I use is called gumroad.com. That's one that I like. Clickbank.com is another one. Warriorplus.com is another one. ShareASale is another one. Those are some of the most common ones that people use. Product Hunt is another one. Again, if you have like a technical based product, maybe you want to launch it there. But again, there are platforms out there. There are specific forums that are niche specific, like so like designed for a specific type of market. Like one of the first marketplaces that I used to frequent a lot as a customer when I first came on the internet back in 2007 was the Warrior Forum. So if you guys remember Warrior Forum, or if you guys are old enough to remember the Warrior Forum, basically it was this popular forum where people would go on there and talk specifically about internet marketing, right? And so every niche has a forum that's out there where people hang out, where they discuss different topics. And some of these forums have sections where you could sell products to that audience. Usually there's a fee to list your product on these platforms. However, again, sometimes the fee is like $20 to $40. Now, the ones that do have fees to list your product on there, they are good because most of the ones that have the higher the amount of the fee, usually that means that they have a larger audience. And so like the opportunity for you to make money is going to be even greater. And so don't let the price deter you from thinking about listing your product on any particular platform. Understand that usually, again, if there is a fee associated with it, that means that there's a bigger audience there as well. All right. And so now you have your idea. You know how you want to deliver the product. You list it on one of these types of platforms, and the next thing you have to do is like you need the words, the right words to put together that's going to influence a person to take action to purchase your product, right? Now, before I go into talking about how words can actually shape and move people into a specific direction, one of the things that I want you guys to think about is how you price your first product, and this is how the money is going to be made. You're going to sell your product for money, right? Like you're going to sell the product for money. I remember my first digital product that I launched was $1. And one of the reasons why I tell people to start with a low dollar amount for your very first product is because your very first product is probably going to be bad. It's probably not going to be the one that you're the most proud of. But one thing I want you to understand, like no matter how bad it starts off, you can always improve it, right? Like if you are collecting the information of your customers, then you can always go back to them and let them know, like, hey, here's the version 2, or here's version 3, or here's version 5, right? So you can always go back and you can always improve it. And so it looks like we have some more people in here. Thank you guys. God bless you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Let me know where you guys are from, where you guys are hanging out from, where you guys are living right now. What I'm talking about is how you can turn an idea into income. And so we started in the beginning. The first thing you want to do is you want to have an idea. Usually your idea is going to be connected to a problem. What type of problem are people going through in their current life? A good problem to solve is something that you have already solved for yourself, or something that you are working on solving for yourself right now. And so you start with that. Then you go to a site like answerthepublic.com. You want to figure out what these people's, like, what is their desire? What are they actively searching for? Because one of the things, as we're going to talk about, is like how you use your words to influence these people to purchase. One of the things that you don't want to do is like you don't want to try to solve a problem or desire that they don't have. So if you go to a site like answerthepublic.com, what it's going to do, it's literally going to tell you what the words that people are using to search for the problem they have, right? So again, if you type in like infidelity, right? So like you might get a whole list of questions like, why did my husband cheat on me? Why did my wife cheat on me, right? You may have people are asking about what are the signs of somebody cheating, right? So again, all these different topics are going to give you a specific example, right? So if you type in stock markets, right, so it's going to probably come back questions like, what is the stock market? What are options? What are candles? What are wicks, right? Like it's going to bring you back like the top 50 to 150 questions that people are asking, and you want to figure out like what's the greatest problem overall single question that people are asking, and you want to solve that. And the way that we do that, again, you're going to create a digital product. And so that could be an ebook, that could be like a video, it could be a course, it could be a workbook, it could be a worksheet, it could be a template, it could be an audio recording, it could be access to you, right? So like you could do Zoom calls with people, right? So again, there's a lot of different types of products that are digital that you could sell. Again, my favorite are video courses. So like where either like I'm doing an explanation, or I'm, you know, teaching on the whiteboard, or again, I'm screen sharing my screen and I'm walking a person through how to solve this problem step by step. So those are my favorite because again, you could create a type of product like that in a day. You could create a product like that in an hour, or a setting like this, right? Um, and so the next thing again you want to think about is like how are you going to price your product, right? I would start with anywhere between like $1 and like $27. Again, if you're making like an ebook, obviously if you're trying to make like a more in-depth type of course, then you're going to probably charge more money for it. But I think for most of you guys watching this right now, if you haven't done this already, try to get your feet wet with something that's $1 to $27, because it doesn't take a lot of convincing to get someone to exchange $1 to $27 for an idea that you have, right? Especially if it solves a burning desire or burning issue that they have in their current life, right? If somebody told you that um, somebody told you that they were tired of being fat, right? That they have a wedding coming up in 60 days. They absolutely want to learn how to lose weight, and they don't want to be embarrassed because of their size. So can you, if you can show me how to lose weight, like, they're going to give you their money, right? So again, you want to make sure that it's connected to some type of burning problem that they have. Now, once you have figured out how much you want to price it, the last piece, to me, is the most important part. The most important part, and go, if you guys are still here and you're paying attention, write in the chat, most important part. This is the most important part. Let me know that you guys are still getting value. Thank y'all for doing all the hearts and all the likes and all that stuff. I truly appreciate that as well. But I would like for you guys to go ahead and just type that in if you guys are still paying attention. The most important part, I'm going to share with you guys what the most important part is. Okay. All right. And so the most important part of this all is, like, what are the words that you're going to use to help describe what your product can do for them, right? Because people are looking to have a few questions answered before they decide to invest their hard-earned money with you. All right, and thank you, Josh, for writing that. They want you to make sure that it's clear that, number one, can you help them? Like, are you qualified to help them? Right. So that's going to be one question people are going to be asking. Another question is, is this for me? Right? Do I need this now? Another question is going to be, again, what's in it for me? Like, what is the benefit of me purchasing this product now? All right. And so those are three things that you want to make sure that you address. Um, and you're going to use your words to do that. Now, there are like 7 more questions. I'm not going to spend the most time on them right now because we'll be on here talking all night if I go through those other questions. In fact, I'm actually doing like a 5-week workshop on like those specific 10 questions, understanding how to answer them effectively, how that is the key to being able to influence people with your words, is answering these 10 questions. These 10 questions are the most important things that people need to know logically before they can have clarity that your solution is something that they can use that's going to benefit their lives, right? And so we're going to be spending 5 weeks doing that in the month of May, every single Thursday night at 5 p.m. I'm sorry, at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Thursday night in the month of May. I'm going to be going over that live on Zoom, showing a group of people, probably no more than 20 people, how to do this step by step, how to turn an idea and their words into income, right? We're calling this the Words into Wealth Bootcamp. There's going to be a link in the description already. If you guys haven't checked that out, I would encourage you guys to check it out. There is a registration fee. We don't hide that. It's $297. Again, we don't hide that. But one of the things here you're going to learn is just like how I gave you guys an example. If you're selling a digital product that's $1 to $27, let's just say it's $27 for easy math, right? If you sell 10 of those digital products in a month, then you made $270, right? If you sell 10 of those in a week, again, the same $270. But if you do that every single week, right, that starts to add up. Now, for me, the most amount of digital products that I sold in a single day is about 150. And with digital products itself, I think the single best day with digital products, not counting email marketing and stuff like that, just like me selling digital products directly to consumers, I think I made about $6,500 in a day selling digital products, and that's about 150 customers in one single day. And so again, you can make a decent amount of money doing this when you learn the skills. To me, again, the biggest skill is not the idea, is not knowing what the problem is, because people know what their own problems are, but it's you being able to verbalize to them that you have the solution for them. That's what makes people buy. And typically, people are only going to buy when they believe that what you're offering, again, can help them. They're going to buy when they understand that they believe that you have some type of new solution or new opportunity. They're going to buy when they believe that you can show them how to do this quickly and easily and efficiently. And again, there has to be some type of direct correlation to their life. Like, their life is going to significantly improve by knowing how to do that. And that's why, again, like I said, in the month of May, we're going to spend about 5 weeks going through this, how you put those words together so that you can launch your own products, your own services with your words and be able to turn that into income. And again, like I said, if you have a $27 ebook, again, I've sold over 150 in a single day. You can sell I mean, again, if you're just starting, you could sell 10 in a day, and then basically you've almost pretty much earned all of your money back. And so again, this is probably one of the safest things that you can learn how to do. This is going to be a skill set that's going to stay with you forever once you learn how to do it. And so again, like I said, the link is going to be in the description. If you haven't already, check it out. People are already enrolling. And so I can't wait to see you there if you guys are going to be a part of that. And so let me explain this one little last thing, and then I'll get out of here. Let me know if there are any questions so far. I didn't ask that. Are there any questions? Are you guys following? Is this good information? Are you guys learning something? Is this helping at all? Let me know in the comments. And thank y'all for being here. While y'all are answering that, I'm gonna ask a second question. What is on your schedule for today? What are you guys getting into today? For me, one of the things, Firebug said, just got home. What is this about? Again, I'm doing a live. I'm talking about how to turn your ideas into income. Okay. Michael Carlin said, appreciate it. God bless. Hey, Michael. Thank you. Thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for being here. And so what we've been talking about again today is how to turn your ideas into income. What I've gone through over the last like 30 minutes or so is like number one, the first thing that you want to do is have an idea, right? You're going to need an idea if you want to turn ideas into income. Typically, the idea is going to come from some type of problem that you have or some type of problem that you observe that other people have, right? I believe that we were put here, especially as believers, to be solutionists. God has created us to be here to help solve problems while we were here to help other people overcome challenges. And sometimes that's the exact reason why we go through our own set of challenges, is so that we can have the capacity and the compassion enough to serve other people with solutions to help them move forward in life. Now, one of the things I've learned over the last 17 years from selling digital products and selling information that has gone on to help change people's lives in different areas of their lives is this particular thing, is that typically there is no transformation without a transaction, right? There's no transformation without a transaction. And so one of the reasons why the digital product business and actually selling information is so valuable is because, again, there's millions of free videos on YouTube, and typically with free content, people treat the information pretty much equivalent to what they pay for it, right? So if they don't pay anything for it, there's no skin in the game, then they usually treat it like that it has no value. And so one of the things that we try to do as educators, as teachers, as guides, as people who are put here to help and move people forward in any particular area, is we do make things available at a price because we want the person to actually have a transformation. It's not about getting money from them. It's about them actually valuing the information enough to go through the course, to go through the training so that they actually get what they want, which is the result. Okay. So you start with the problem. Then you want to go to a site like answerthepublic.com. You type the problem in. It's going to show you exactly word for word in their own language what are they specifically searching for? What are they typing on the internet to find solutions for the problems? And then basically what you want to do is use those questions that your prospects or the people who you're trying to help are already asking, and you want to come up with a solution. Now, there are tools out there that can help you to ideate this part, like ChatGPT can help you with the ideation of this part. But again, you want to get crystal clear on who you're going to help and how you're going to help them with your digital product. And so the next thing you want to do is, again, you want to figure out what type of format that you want to create to deliver your digital product. Again, it could be an ebook, it could be a video, it could be a Zoom call, it could be a coaching program, it could be a mentorship, it could be an audio, like an MP3 file. It could be like, there's so many different things. I've sold like software, I've sold templates, I've sold checklists, again, mind maps. I've literally sold notes. So we're talking about ideas, right? Turning ideas into income. So here was an idea that I had. Right? I went to this one conference. It was like super expensive, and other people wanted to be able to afford to go there. However, the financial cost was in the several $1,000s range, right? And because I knew that there was a large group of people who wanted to attend but didn't have the money to attend the group or to attend the training, I took very calculated notes on everything that happened to the event, and I sold my notes to people who couldn't afford to come, and they got value from it. So they got the information that they would have had to pay thousands of dollars for. They got it at a discount, and I got some of the money back from attending the event, right, by selling the notes, right? And so, again, any idea that you can think of could probably be turned into a product. I've already listed a bunch of different examples of how you can do that. The last thing that's important is, again, being able to put it on a platform. So there are certain platforms out there that allow you to be able to distribute the product and get the product in the hands of people. I love Gumroad. They do take a decent amount of fee for facilitating this to your customers. But again, with Gumroad, it's one of those platforms that you can actually get paid the same day. And so again, when it comes to like operating a business and being able to take the cash flow that's coming in and put it into advertising into so you can get more interested people to see your product or service, to me, it's one of the like a no-brainer solution, and it's free to sign up. And so you can use Gumroad, you can use ClickBank, you can use Warrior Plus, you can use Product Hunt. There's a lot of different platforms out there. There are even specific forums that you can post your content on that are specific to the problem that people may be facing, right? So like you can go into the industry that they are in or the category they're in. So let's just say that, again, I started my career, I was a subscriber to the Warrior Forum. Basically, there was like an internet marketing forum, and the only people who would go on this forum were like internet marketing geeks, right? People who were interested in that category. So they're fitness forums, they're dating forums, they're, again, they're marketing forums, they're like forums for farmers, right? So all these different communities or people are hanging out in specific areas, and you could list your product on most of these forums. Usually they may cost a fee to list your product, but because they cost a fee, that's raising the barrier of entry, but it's also letting you know that there's going to be a live audience who would be ready and willing and is going to be visibly able to see the product that you're offering the fastest. And so there has been times, again, like given the Warrior Form example, where I've listed a product and it cost me $40 to list the product on that particular website, and I've ended up making like $4,000 in one single week by with just a $40 expense out of my own pocket. And so again, some of these forums, again, you're going to pay money to list your product on there. However, again, usually the audience is going to be big enough for you to be able to make that money back pretty quickly. All right. So you list your product either on a platform, or you want to list it on a forum to start attracting customers. And then again, the biggest thing that you're going to need before you list it is obviously the words. What words are you going to use to convince a person that your product or service is fit for them? That's the skill that I recommend that you guys learn. So this skill is called copywriting. There's a ton of videos on it online. Basically, the things that I think that you should focus on when you're trying to learn this particular skill is, I want you to think of in a logical sense. Um, the first thing that you need to be able to do is get people's attention, right? You need them to be able to pay attention and to know that this is specifically for them. So you want to call them out in the title or the headline, that's what we call it. Or you want to call them out. You want to make sure that you're speaking directly to them and they know that you're speaking to them. Then you want to give some type of promise, let them know like how this will help them or how this will benefit their life in some type of way. Once you've given them some type of promise, then you want to tell a story, right? How has this information changed your life? How has it affected someone else's life that you know? Basically, people want to, it's easier for people to buy into something when they're connected to another person, right? And so if you can use a personal story, or you can use someone else's story, like a case study of somebody else who's had transformation using the same process that you're trying to teach them, then that can work as well. Okay, and then after you tell your personal story, you want to list out exactly, here's exactly what you're going to get. So you want to be able to describe that and let them know bullet by bullet, here are the things that they're going to receive. And then you want to make sure you have some type of call to action where you directly tell them, this is what you do next. This is how to purchase the product. This is where to go. This is what to click. And this is what's going to happen after you make that purchase, right? You want to set the expectation so they know exactly what is going to happen next, okay? And so if you do this effectively, again, you will be able to take a simple idea, you'll be able to turn it into income, you'll be able to turn it into money, you'll be able to prosper, you'll be able to, have the things that you want to have by understanding this particular concept. And now, obviously, I try to break this down as elementary as humanly possible in the course of 40 minutes on this particular live. But one of the things I'm going to be doing over a 5 week period is I'm going to be taking a group of you guys step by step through this process so you can learn every single piece and that you can perfect it so that you can, at the end of 5 weeks, have your own product that you can promote and put out there into a marketplace that's earning you money. And so the link to that is going to be in the description of this video right now. I'm also going to post this as a pinned comment for the replay. So again, either way, you can purchase it. Again, it's $297, and you'll be able to learn how to turn your words into wealth. And with that being said, let me know if there's any questions. It looks like most of the people are either buying right now or they have just left. And so let me know if there are any questions for those of you guys who are remaining here right now. And thank y'all for hanging out with me for so long. I truly appreciate it. God bless you all on today. Let me know if there's any questions. If there's no more questions, then I'll go ahead and jump off of here. Like I said, 2007 was the first time I sold an information product. I was teaching people how to create financial independence from a biblical sense. And in some weird way, it seems like I'm back here again and getting ready to do this for real. And so with that being said, I hope this information helped you in some type of way. You're able to see how you can turn a simple idea into income. If that is something you want to learn how to do in greater detail, then I'll see you guys over the next 5 weeks. We'll be starting May 1st. Every single Thursday from there, we'll be going live on Zoom. As soon as you purchase, you'll get access to the members area. You will see the Zoom information so that you can jump on the call with us live. I'll be there. All the calls will be recorded. I want to say that. So again, if you can't attend live, the calls will be recorded and they'll be posted in the back office so that you can have access to them. And so if there's no other questions, I'll see you guys next time. God bless.